Hey guys, David here. Welcome to Digital Outlook, where you're gonna find the best community in all of crypto. In today's video, we got Brad Garlinghouse taking a swat at Gary Gensler. So guys, without further ado, why don't we get to it? So guys, one thing that I think we can all agree on with respect to this Ripple versus the SEC case that probably ticks the majority of us off is the level of hypocrisy that this organization's leadership has been displaying. I mean, you go back there to 2018 where you had Bill Hinman as the head of enforcement for the SEC. And this guy knew without a doubt that of the whole disguised whale stuff and the whole Joseph Lubin deal, and he knew how Ethereum came into being. I mean, he was not ignorant of that. And yet he gets out and he gives this speech to the entire marketplace with the almighty we and saying, hey, we look at Ethereum as being a non-security. Well, of course, that goes out into the marketplace and the media just blasts that all over that Ethereum is deemed not to be security by the SEC, and boom, the price just takes off like crazy. Then the guy gets deposed after this lawsuit gets laid down. And in his deposition, he's saying, oh, no, wait a second here. That was my personal opinion. I didn't really feel that way. And then the SEC turns around and say, wait a second. It wasn't just his personal opinion. It was also the policy of the division of enforcement that he was ahead of. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Now you move over to Jay Clayton, and here Ripple was going in there, meeting with Jay Clayton over many months, actually over a span of a year or two. And then on the very last day that this guy walks out of the chair position of the SEC, he drops this lawsuit on Ripple and just walks out the door. And who walked out the door with him? Well, you saw him and a bunch of other seniors walk out the door too. And where did these guys go to work? Where did Clayton and Hinman go to work? Yeah, they went to work for law firms that were associated to the whole Ethereum free pass deal. Absolutely mind-boggling that this level of conflict of interest can even be allowed. Then you have Gary Gensler coming in and taking over for Jay Clayton, of course. Well, where did Gary work before he came over to the SEC? Well, he worked at MIT. And what did he do over there? Well, the guy taught distributed ledger technology, and you can literally find video clips of him spelling it out in no uncertain terms that Ethereum was a security. But try and nail him on that today. You get him out there, he won't say one word about it, and it's just got to the point of absolute ridiculousness. And I think that Garlinghouse has just had it up to here, especially with current events. So just take a look at this little news clip right here, where it's talking about CEO Brad Garlinghouse calls Gary Gensler's meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried shameful. So here we go. The CEO of Ripple Labs says the former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's meetings with U.S. Security Exchange Commission's Chair Gary Gensler were shameful. And here's the actual quote. It's ridiculous and frankly shameful that Chair Gensler was touting the SEC's enforcement actions as the cop on the beat. Remember, guys, they're putting out there, hey, come on in. We want to have a level playing field. This is all fairness and transparent. What a load. Per public reports, he met with Sam Bankman-Fried multiple times, but was caught completely flat-footed when the alleged fraud finally came to light. Guys, I absolutely do not believe for 1 second that Gensler did not know what was going on with the whole FTX thing. Why is that? Guys, the SEC has an intelligence division that they actually are out there charged with the task of making sure that all these things are going on in the marketplace that don't hurt small investors like you and I. These guys know ahead of time. Don't think that they did not know what was going on with this whole FTX debacle. I mean, we're talking about probably one of the largest, if not the largest, fraud perpetrated on the small-time retail investor for this entire century thus far. I mean, this is way bigger than the Bernie Madoff. I mean, over 1 million people were affected, and we're talking $8 billion of customer funds that were used in a fraudulent way. And you're telling me that Gensler had absolutely no idea, with a whole entire intelligence department behind him to advise him of things that are going on in the marketplace, so the SEC could do its job and make sure that we, the little investor, aren't going to get damaged and hurt. Remember, that is their mandate, to protect us. And it just has got to the point where this is just ridiculous. Meanwhile, the SEC sued Ripple in late 2020 under allegations that the firm sold XRP as an unregistered security, but the regulator did not launch any investigation into FTX prior to its multi-billion-dollar collapse. Remember this, guys. FTX issued an FTT token, and it was directly tied to what FTX as an exchange was doing. And if that's not going to meet the Howey test as a security, then what is? Yet they did absolutely nothing about it. And they literally allowed this balloon to just blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. So that once it imploded and it created this wake of absolute disaster in this entire digital asset space, guys, I think that they were just pumping this guy full. They were just allowing it to happen so that they would have that whole rationale, never let a good crisis go to waste, and they could come in on the scenes and pretend to be the knight in shining armor and lay all these charges and look, we're doing our job. Hey, too little too late. After the fact, after all these folks have been burned and hurt to the degree that they have had, it's beyond shameful. It is absolutely reprehensible. And in fact, Gary Gensler, folks should be calling for his resignation right now. The guy has fallen down on the job, and he needs to take responsibility and accountability for the disaster that has been a result of this whole FTX deal. And look, you got Ripple there that never once had an ICO. And in fact, the SEC hasn't even been able to prove that there has been even one prong of the Howey test met with respect to this whole deal. Ripple raised its seed money through venture capital. And yes, XRP were sold, but they were sold through another legal entity under the parenting of Ripple, but it was not to fund the business. That is not how their business model worked. Basically, Ripple was selling XRP like Ford would be selling their Mustang cars. They were selling an asset. They weren't selling a security. And they know that that is a factual truth. And yet they're trying to put it out in the marketplace that this company over here, Ripple, which by the way, not one fraud charge was filed, not one in that whole deal. So what you're seeing here is just an absolute ridiculous play by the SEC. In fact, it borders on the level of gross incompetence. It is really that bad, and there needs to be some serious accountability. Now, you just take a look at that. Here's another quote. Everyone should ask Gary Gensler and the SEC what changed when BlockFi agreed to pay $70 million of the $100 million imposed by Gensler. BlockFi was making payments to the SEC, and the SEC is its second largest creditor in the BlockFi bankruptcy. But what policy or practical measures were implemented by this settlement? Gensler says, come in and talk. BlockFi did and paid big money for doing so. But how did this settlement provide guidance to others? How did this settlement protect investors? Now, where that's coming from is it's coming from John Deaton, and he's talking about the SEC's enforcement actions may have punished firms that were skirting regulations, but it failed to set any precedent or guidelines. And that's where he's referencing crypto lending platform BlockFi, which agreed to pay $100 million in fines to the SEC and then went bankrupt months later. Guys, we have even ties that FTX could have been involved in that whole BlockFi deal. I'm telling you, it stinks to the high heaven, and there needs to be some level of accountability. And I think Brad Garlinghouse, him coming out there into the public sphere and saying, look, this is ridiculous and frankly shameful that Gensler is out there doing this, and I think we should be calling for his resignation. Now, meanwhile, guys, what's happening in the broader ecosystem for Ripple and XRP. Well, just take a look at this right here. XRP price is forecasted for 2023, and it's gearing up for a bright future if it wins the legal battle with the SEC. And Ripple continues aggressive defense in court against the charges from U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It says XRP price primed for a massive breakout, targeting $1.76 by Q1. From where it is now, guys, to if it hits like $1.76, you're talking what? Almost a 800% increase. And beyond that, guys, I think we're going to see some major breakouts. Most legal analysts believe that Ripple is in a position to truly win this case, not just in summary judgment, because guys, they could settle before that. A lot of folks are saying, hey, I hope they don't settle. Let's take this all the way and get an absolute win. But either way, it's going to be a win for XRP. And a win for XRP, guys, by the way, is a win for the entire digital asset space. Something else I want you to see here is this, because this is truly mind-boggling. Right now, you're talking about all kinds of price action with respect to XRP and this whole case against Ripple. But look at this. Ripple is expanding to massive future markets with a new partnership in Brazil. Guys, the ecosystem is just expanding. And regardless of whether this case gets settled, whether Ripple even wins in summary judgment or not, this whole ecosystem is expanding globally. And take a look right over here. Whales prepare for price volatility in 2023 as demand for XRP soars. Whales are ignoring uncertainties pegged to the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit outcome. Demand for XRP among large volume holders with 1 million to 10 million coins hits an all-time high. XRP price hangs above a strong demand area, potentially triggering a rebound. Guys, listen. The reality is, outside of the United States, the rest of the world is utilizing this ecosystem and utilizing the XRP ledger and XRP, and have already defined XRP as a currency and not a security. And they're utilizing it right now. We're looking at, even with the SEC lawsuit in the last run, we saw XRP from 17 cents go to $1.97. That's an 1,100% return. I think what we're going to see in this next bull run, when it hits, I think we're going to see XRP test its previous all-time high and perhaps even beyond, even if we don't have final clarity. But if we do have final clarity, guys, I think the sky's the limit with this. Now, that is my personal opinion, because this whole case has caused the XRP price to be so compressed like a tight spring that once it gets lifted, boom, this thing's going to just pop off like crazy. That's what I genuinely believe. Here's another article right here that talks about the same thing. XRP accumulation, key sharks and whales groups hits an all-time high. And guys, I want you to see something here. Look at the dates on these articles. They're all today's date right here, December 2021. Here's another one right over here. December 2021, large XRP holders accumulate so much XRP that they set records. I'm telling you guys, when I think of this space, I am so absolutely convinced of the utility that I see in this ecosystem and what Ripple is doing and what other XRP companies that utilize XRP are doing in the development of this future digital economy, that I am absolutely 100% convinced. And regardless of the hypocrisy of the SEC, I mean, you're talking about an organization that seems to be as corrupt can be when you take a look at the individuals and the conflicts of interest and you know, the doublespeak that's coming out of there. The fact that Gary Gensler could sit and meet with Sam Bankman-Fried multiple times, has an intelligence division out there that is supposed to be out there gathering information about what's going on in the marketplace, and right underneath their nose, they got FTX issuing an FTT token that certainly meets the entire definition of what a security is, and they did absolutely nothing to protect the little investor. And guys, to me, that is beyond shameful. It's totally reprehensible. Meanwhile, you have an organization like Ripple that has been as transparent as they possibly can. You can look at the XRP ledger. You can see all these transactions. The reason why we know large whales are accumulating is due to the fact that the XRP ledger is open and transparent. And so for me, guys, I'm looking at the utility long term, and I think that those of us that have gotten into this space as early as we have and not listening to all this FUD and just watching this whole dog and pony show play out, that if we're able to weather this storms, we are going to be the largest benefactors of this new system that's coming about. Now, guys, this is the video I have for you today, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it. Now, if you want to add to the conversation, just drop your comments right down there in the comment section, open it up to the community, and start a discussion. So guys, before you go, let me remind the community of our Discord server. It is a fabulous place to meet with like-minded individuals and discuss all your thoughts, ideas, suggestions, and opinions with respect to this entire digital asset space. It's absolutely free, and the link is right down there in the description of this video. Now, something else that comes up quite a bit. A lot of folks ask me, hey David, where can I buy some XRP? Well, guys, I use these folks right here, Caleb and Brown. Now, Caleb and Brown are not an exchange. They're actually a digital asset broker. And the great thing about dealing with a broker is this: you can actually get on the phone and talk to them one-on-one about whatever issue you're having and get that issue resolved. You can't do that on Coinbase, Kraken, or Uphold. You're having to submit a support ticket, and who knows how long it's going to take for that to get resolved. Now, with Caleb and Brown, there's no deposit fees. There's no withdrawal fees. There's not even any custody fees. The only fee that you pay is your trading fee. And they have supplied us a particular link. You register with that link right down there in the description of this video. You're going to get 3.5% on your fees. And for me, guys, when I'm in a pinch and I need to actually get a hold of my broker to get it resolved, it's a great comfort and makes that 3.5% well worth it. Now, last but not least, I have been getting completely booked with our coaching. And up until now, until Christmas, I am completely booked. But from the 27th to the 30th, I have a few spots open. And if that interests you, you just write me right here at coaching@thedigital.com. And for $250 for a 1-hour Zoom meeting, one-on-one, we can talk about your portfolio, your exit strategy. We can even help you get your assets off an exchange and onto a cold storage wallet. So if that interests you, just write me right there at coaching@thedigital.com and we'll get you all set up. So guys, as you know, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, but if you found value in it, if you'd hit that like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And hey, don't forget to hit that notification bell down there so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that we're uploading. And if you're one of the thousands of people who have been watching these videos, but you haven't yet subscribed, would you do the channel a favor and join this community? We would really love to have you on board. So, in the meantime, and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you in the next one.